Well, I have to say I'm certainly impressed with the Poltards in Iowa. Because now we see, what are they going to do about it? They just stole an election from you. What are they going to do about it? Oh yeah, two things: jack and shit. Unbelievable, right? And you can get the links below. Um, the people on the ground. It just wasn't that important to you, huh? And Ron Paul's just gonna let it go. Right? The campaign just gonna let it go. Those people should be in jail. Right? And you Democrats over there that are just like kind of making fun of people that watch Fox News, and believe me, I make fun of people that watch Fox News, but you're watching CNN and CBS and MSNBC and thinking you got news. That's theater, right? I mean, listen to the links that I have below. It's Alex Jones, but it's Bev Harris on Alex Jones, and Bev Harris and I have traded a few emails because my thing is math, and there's a few things you can use mathematics to do, and one of them is detect fraud in elections, right? Statistics. Is your friend, and there's certain rules that are your friend that help you figure out when they, you know what? Because the schmucks that stole that election, they don't know math, right? Our kings don't know math, our popes don't know math, our presidents don't know math, our rulers in general don't know math, so they can be caught with mathematics. But seriously, the theater that went on there. Oh, the truck. There was a truck. They didn't. They were calling in the votes. The truck had nothing to do with anything. Right? I mean, I watched that, and it was just, they stole an election. A guy that basically had 50% of the vote was winning by a landslide. Listen to the people in Iowa tell the stories. Right? Rick Santorum, 100 people. They show on CNN, by the way. I remember watching on CNN. Oh, look, he's surging. Look at all the people. They, close-up shots. Look at all the people in his meetings. There's like never more than 100 people in his meetings. And many of those people were Ron Paul supporters, seeing how many people were at his damn meetings. And then he pulls, right? So they basically gave half of Ron Paul's votes to Rick Santorum. And further than that, we hear all kinds of stories. Well, in the places where, because they were doing Watch the Vote 2012, and I just got an invitation to go watch the vote in New Hampshire. I'm on Maui. It's a little ways away. I don't think I'm going to make it. And what's it matter anyway? You guys are going to have to do exit polling over there because they got machines in New Hampshire that will count the votes however they want them to be counted. And even Obama got ripped off in New Hampshire. See, this is not a partisan issue. This is not Republican, Democrat. This is an American issue. We have become a nation of men because we don't enforce the laws. It's as simple as that, right? We don't need more laws. Election fraud is against the law already. Those men that decided that they are going to choose for the rest of us who our nominee is going to be on the Republican side, right? First off, shame on you, but shame on the rest of you Iowans for letting it go. It's 2 days later. It's his old news. These men, there should be an investigation in a perfect world, right? And even more, you don't vote for Rick Santorum because he knows he didn't get, oh, please. But of course he's going to take it. If they're going to give it to him, he'll take it. Now, CNN, NBC, all these other guys, they're not going to touch vote fraud with. The only people that are going to do it is us. Because the real story is the fact that even Rick Perry, like I said, I am no fan of Rick Perry. I wouldn't vote for him in a million years. But Rick Perry got robbed. What are his supporters doing about it? Nothing. Now, it's got to change. Like I said, the whole reason, I got kids. Right? What are we going to leave them with? What kind of republic are we going to leave? We don't even have a republic anymore. We don't even have any democracy anymore. What do we got? If we don't have the vote. When we don't have the vote, and I've been saying this for years, and I have lots of friends that don't vote because they think it's theater. Well, it's because it is theater. Right? And they give you stories. Don't give you news. CNN contains no news. CNN doesn't give you news. They give you news stories. The van and the truck and the ballots, and there was some, right? So we reported, we reported on the vote fraud. Yeah, we reported. No, you didn't. And why aren't they interviewing people on the ground? And just so happens that that Romney and Santorum did really well in places where they didn't have people watching the vote. But apparently they couldn't get enough Ron Paul supporters to watch all the precincts and all of the caucus places out there, and the far-flung places. So out there, Santorum and and Romney did really well. But in the places where they actually had people watching the vote, well, that was pretty up and up. But see, they still were able to rig it, weren't they? And then even in the places that were up, and I heard more than a few people say, well, I don't know what happened to the votes afterwards. I can't be sure that, okay, like I said, your right to vote, you have two parts in your right to vote. First part of your right to vote is being able to vote, right? No matter how, what color you are, male or female, so forth, right? 18 years of age, you can vote. Now, and they can't bar you. Now, the whole thing about the, not checking IDs, all right, fine. But the idea is the only people that are going to stop this nonsense is us. We need to enforce the laws. And letting them get away with it, and then not caring enough to make sure that the second part of your right to vote is knowing your vote got counted. And they didn't just switch it around, after it left, after they called it in, and then they voted in secret, and now the Russians really are laughing at us, right? The Russians and Chinese are laughing at the American people. Because what happened in Iowa is exactly what they always say. It doesn't matter who votes, it matters who counts the votes, and they got to count the votes in secret. And you're going to let it go. And now we're going to New Hampshire. So here's what I have to say is everybody else that's got a caucus coming up, South Carolina, Nevada, wherever the hell it is coming up in the future, Ron Paul supporters, you better get out there. Because in Iowa, from what I can garner, talking to people, it was 50% or better for Ron Paul, and they made it into basically a three-way tie. And then you guys are going to try and talk about how, that was okay, but no, it's not okay. Right? The country needs to know what kind of support Ron Paul has. Now, in South Carolina, whatever it is, you guys need to get out and watch the damn vote. Because obviously they're going to rig it. And for those of you that are like, oh yeah, I'd rather have them rigging the vote than assassinating Ron Paul. Really, is that what we've come to in this country? Really? Is that where we are? Because if that's where we are, do you know how dark it is? Right? It's not daylight anymore, guys. Night is coming. If that's your opinion. And those of you that are Democrats that don't like Ron Paul, great. And so you're okay with the fact that they stole an election? Really, is that where we are? And you Republicans that are for Ron Paul, and you knew there was going to be some hanky-panky over there, and it happened anyway, and you're going, yeah, see, I know. I knew they were going to do that. It's pretty dark, guys. Really, is that where we are? Is that where we're going to stay? We're going to let it go that way? And let them put up some guy that they know that's going to lose to Obama? Because Ron Paul will beat Obama. Right? Because of independents and the young and a lot of Democrats, right? But Santorum's never going to pull one Democrat and no independents. Romney might get a few independents, maybe, but no Democrats are going to vote for freaking. And you know it. Ron Paul, liberty, freedom. Now, I'm serious. Dude, it's getting dark. It's getting awfully dark. What are you going to leave to your kids? Huh? With this cynical attitude, oh yeah, we knew they were going to steal it. Really? So you let them. Right? What are you going to do about it? We have multiple chances coming up here in the future. You're going to secure the vote, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, whatever you are. Socialist, you want your voice heard, you need to make sure that you have the right to vote and that your vote is counted and you know it.